Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
Coming up this week, we've teleported to GCN Español satellite mega MoonBase Alpha in Girona. Loads of cool stuff coming up. We've got a 3D printed titanium stem, a heart rate monitor fan that isn't a fan, the world's lightest sustainable bike, and a product on Kickstarter, which I think is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, plus our main talking point this week is, does cycling have a marketing problem?
Let's find out.
First, we're GCN Español Mega Base, right? I just want to say that our stools promote very good posture. The Spanish guys, they've got like these. Oh, look at that!
It's a Spanish way of life. It's a lot more relaxed out here.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Anyway, last week we asked you what was the paint stripped frame at the end of our hill climb discussion.
Yeah.
A lot of answers in the comments section. A lot of people got it wrong. Quite a few people got it right. So I was told it was a Cervelo R3.
Okay, fair enough. I'd had no idea. How many people got it right?
Oh, there's a handful of people guessed the right thing. Quite a few people said Cervelo R5 as well. But there you go.
Anyway, on to this week's main talking point.
Yes. So, does cycling have a marketing problem? And what basically has prompted this discussion is this. The new Bianchi Oltre RC with its wind deflectors on the head tube. This has garnered a lot of criticism online and from many of you as well.
Yeah, now some people think it's cool and think it's a genuine aerodynamic innovation, although there are quite a lot of people out there that think it's kind of more of a gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, we should point out that the deflectors have been banned by the UCI as well, as they are technically fairing. But there's other examples as well. You know, I think the Trek Madon springs to mind that came out earlier in the year. It's got this aerodynamic hole.
The A-hole.
Could call it that.
Yeah.
In the seat post, and also a slot when you look at it side on. It's a very unconventional looking bike, and as a result, you know, some people have speculated that it might not be structurally very strong. That is pure speculation though.
Yeah.
It could well be.
I think it's because it's an extreme design. People don't like huge changes, do they?
Yes, yeah. and so because it looks different to what people have seen before, a lot of people sort of said they didn't like it.
Another product which I think could be added to our list, absolute black pulley wheels.
Yeah,
the big oversized one with a hole in it.
I mean, it's quite a cool looking thing, but a lot of people have, you know, questioned the marketing of that particular product.
Well, they've questioned some of the research behind it as well.
Yeah.
I think Absolute Black in general are a company that are out there with some bold marketing claims, which I think is fair to say, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things you've got is that a lot of companies are constantly striving to innovate and come out with the next big kind of game-changing bit of tech. Yeah. Because we have had like game-changing bits of tech throughout the history of cycling. You know, you think like the biggest one's probably tri-bars, isn't it? Like
huge difference.
Like the Le Mans Fignon battle and tri-bars, like, you know, that's the big example. And I think people are constantly looking for the next big thing that's going to decide the result of a race.
So yeah, there's been some genuine innovations over the years, but I think it's fair to say cyclists aren't stupid. We've got to add that caveat. And I think if you're going to make some big, bold claims about a product, you've got to back that up with some research, some stats, maybe some white papers.
Yeah, like solid data behind it. I'm a big fan of when brands release their marketing material, but like they name check competitors in the science that they put out. So they say our product was X watts faster than competitor whatever, but they actually name the competitors.
I think it's good when brands feel confident enough in their product and their testing method.
Yeah, well that's it.
Yeah.
Because if by name checking the product they're putting themselves on the line, because if then they have to be able to back that up and prove potentially in court that what they did was repeatable and that is the result of the test. Yeah. Because otherwise they're opening themselves wide open to litigation from the other brand suing them by saying that they were lying about how good their product was. So the flip side of that is, you know, if you read in between the lines in marketing, if you see a brand that says our product is faster than X, Y, and Z unnamed competitor.
They could be awful products, couldn't they?
What is that? Like it could be absolutely anything, and it suggests to me that they're not confident enough in either their testing procedure or the claims that they're making to actually put themselves on the line.
I think sometimes companies want to play it a bit too safe sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be it. Cynics will argue that some brands need to just create new product, new models, new designs in order to keep consumers buying the new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that certainly plays a part. I mean, we live in a consumerist society.
I mean, think along the lines of like the new iPhone 69 that's just launched. They release a new one like every year, and sometimes the design has barely changed. Yeah.
But I think it basically boils down to good design.
Yeah.
You know, if a good design will win out, because even if something is a bit weird and people go, if they actually realise that it's, you know, a good product and it's very functional and does a good job, it'll eventually win out and stand the test of time. Whereas things that aren't that great, they
literally die a death, don't they?
They disappear, they flop as products. And I think not all innovations, not all design is equal.
Great innovation and design, the wheel. That's stuck around for ages, isn't it? No one's changing that anytime soon.
Yeah.
But there are, as you say, there are products and innovations out there which haven't stood the test of time.
Yeah, well, this has been going on forever. Some designs are definitely stronger than others.
Yeah, think along the lines of, remember the year everyone tried to put suspension on bikes at Paris-Roubaix?
I mean, that's happened more than once.
Yeah, L-shaped cranks, what's that all about?
Yeah,
Yeah, don't see them anymore.
Yeah, there's been a lot of this kind of stuff throughout the history of cycling. But on the other hand, there's things where initially people were like, marketing, that's just marketing, that's rubbish, that's a ridiculous product. And then they've actually realised later, and then these things have stood the test of time, that they were actually good innovations.
They've turned it around.
I think my favourite example, POC Temper helmet.
Yeah.
Weird looking helmet.
Yeah.
Everyone looked at it, thought it was ugly and weird.
Big mushroom head.
Couldn't possibly be fast because it was so unconventional. And as a result, it kind of did flop as a product.
Yeah.
And POC stopped making it. But then Dan Bigham got his hands on it and him and his entire team started using it, and they started winning races that people thought they shouldn't be able to win. They showed it was a really aero helmet. All of a sudden, demand soared for it. Everyone wants it. POC's making it again. It's gone back
crazy,
into production.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Something else which I think is going to fire some people up in the comments that people claimed was just marketing has really taken off. Disc brakes on road bikes. Remember the days when people were like, it's dangerous?
Some people still do claim that is just marketing.
Okay, yeah, there is a strong majority of some people say that. But remember when people were like, oh, it's so dangerous, you can't have that, it's going to cut people's limbs off.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that now. We must feel a bit silly if we thought it was going to be that dangerous.
There were a lot of accidents attributed to disc brakes that were actually caused by chain rings and just bits of metal on the road or road furniture.
Surely a chain ring is far more dangerous than a disc brake.
Yeah. Another classic one, skin suits in road races.
Oh, everyone laughed at Team Sky with that.
Yeah, and then Cav won the Worlds, didn't he, in a skin suit. And
once Sky started to dominate in general, and people were like, hey, maybe we should start doing that.
Well, now everyone wears skin suits in road races.
You're like the old one out if you wear shorts and jerseys.
Aero socks. Marketing. It's just marketing.
Do you know what? I was someone that said it was marketing. I was like, look, when I was racing, aero socks, it's not for me. You won't see me wearing aero socks. Later on that season, what was it? Aero socks.
That's right, yeah.
That's what it came to. I said, someone asked me in a race, they said, why you got aero socks? I said, look, this is what it's come to now. Yeah. I've got to wear aero socks. I'm going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, aero socks, everyone wears them in races now, don't they?
Well, that's it. I was someone that stuck out as long as I could. I just had to join everybody.
I think, do you know what, another one? I think we could include the Hope Lotus bike in this.
Well, it boils down to...
It's a radical design.
Radical
it looks
innovation.
Totally different to anything else we've seen before. A lot of people were like, oh, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, that's just marketing. And then, which is bizarre because it's not even like a mass market product. But then and then that was compounded when Britain didn't do as very well in the team pursuit, which has been an event they've done well in before. Yeah. And people were like, oh yeah, it's always marketing. But then actually, Team GB came top in the track cycling medals table.
Really successful bike, actually. So that's turned it around. I don't know if people have changed their minds over it or not, but I quite like it.
Yeah.
Okay, right, but in defence of marketing, I think it has to exist. You've got to tell people all about your product. It's no good just making something which you think is incredible and is going to be like a big game changer, and then not trying to tell people about it and not trying to share how good you think it is.
Yeah,
and
they'll just magically find out about it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Make an incredible bike and then sit back and go, oh, look, people will come and buy it if they decide it's good enough. Somehow they'll find out about it.
They will come.
Yeah. I mean, that seems crazy to think of that.
Yeah, I just don't get why people get offended by marketing. Because, like, by all means, if you think marketing claims are ridiculous, like, laugh at them. But you don't need to get offended by it. People generally seem to get really, like, angry and outraged by it. But
you can switch off from it if you want to.
You don't have to buy it. And that's the thing of, like, you know, the free market is the market ultimately decides. If something is too expensive or it's just marketing rubbish and, you know, false claims,
people won't buy it.
Then, we will see through it, and then it doesn't sell, and the market's decided. So, you know.
Oh, you tell them.
That's the way it is.
You tell everybody all about it.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Well, I'm pleased we've cleared that up. Yeah. We should probably have a poll about this, actually, because I genuinely want to know if people have ever been influenced enough by marketing that it's changed their purchasing decision. So head over to GCN App, let us know your thoughts on it, and we'll discuss that next week. It's now time for hot and spicy tech, but before we kick off in this little segment of the show, we should mention that Global Bike Festival is going to be back, it's going to be bigger, and it's going to be better for 2023. We've got new venue, new riders, new races, new challenges, new events, new special guests. Basically, we've got a lot of new stuff lined up for it.
It was such good fun last year. We've got like a little hype video. Should we play it?
Play the hype video. Well, it looks like you're going.
You want to listen on it?
Apparently,
I'm going to make a call and get you in.
We have to call up MegaBase right now.
I know what's going on there.
Oh, it's just
you've been left off the billing.
Well, that's because you're famous. I'm not.
You are famous. You're famous too.
Right, should we dive into hot tech this week?
Yeah. Well, before I tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say about the bike festival. Last year I just took a road bike, but this year I think I'm going to try and drive down in an Uber van again because that was amazing.
Another Uber van?
Yeah, see if I can blag another one. And then and also I'm going to take a gravel bike, I think.
Yeah.
The gravel riding there is insane. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Anyway, you can do all different types of riding.
Okay, so first up this week, we have got a 3D printed stem. Now this is part of a sort of custom-made bike. Now, take a little look at this and then we run you through some of the details and the stats about it because it's like the design inside is super interesting. Okay, so I spotted this online and I actually think it's really cool to see a product where a brand is innovating with new 3D printing and titanium methods, similar to what we see Tom Sturdy doing.
Yeah.
So at the moment they say the stem is available in stock lengths that go from 80 millimeters all out to 120 in 10 millimeter increments. Got the weight of the stem, do you want to know it?
Of course.
Of course you do. So a 110 millimeter long stem is 170 grams.
That's pretty light, isn't it?
So as well as their sort of dive into titanium 3D printing, they've also got a new finish which has been applied to some of their frames, which is a Cerakote ceramic coating. So I've seen this applied to some other products before, but number 22 bikes are saying that when they use this finish instead of, say, painting or powder coating section of frame, you could save in the region of 200 to 400 grams per frame, which is like quite a big saving. Yeah,
and then presumably it's a very hydrophobic finish, just dirt and water just doesn't stick to it very well.
Super hard wearing finish, and it's such a thin, sort of almost microscopic layer that's applied. It means it's thin enough that you can apply it onto threads as well.
Without having to tap them again.
Yeah, so it doesn't affect how that thread works, so that we still get the really cool finish.
It's proper cool, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I
think. I mean, there's lots to unpick here.
Yeah.
First thing is ceramic coats, right? that's great to see brands starting to sell products at the point of purchase with them on.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've tried them on bikes and stuff. I really rate them. I put them on my bikes now.
Yeah.
It helps keep them cleaner. But no brand, as I'm aware, no major brand anyway, is selling their bikes with ceramic coats on, I feel like.
Well, certainly not as like a coloured finish. It's like super impressive.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just really cool to see the cross-section of that in particular.
Yeah.
And you can see how the 3D printing has been used to create strength while maintaining low weight within that cross-section.
I think it looks really cool to see.
Yeah, and then the cable routing is better as well.
Yeah, love that.
It's the future, isn't it? It's 3D printing malarkey.
It is the future. And talking about the future, here is the heart rate monitor fan I talked about earlier that isn't actually a fan. So this is a unit which sits in line of the plug of your ordinary fan, and then it can connect to apps such as Zwift and then control your fan based off of your heart rate, which I think is quite smart. You know what I think?
That is quite cool.
Yeah.
Although, do you know another hack?
Go on.
You know, if you got like, I don't have it in my house, but I know people that do, the Amazon Alexa thing.
Yeah.
If you have you plug into an Amazon Alexa thing that controls the sockets, you can just go, Alexa, turn on the fan.
A voice-activated fan?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've stumbled across something new here for indoor training. So the kind person behind the heart rate monitor fan has sent us some information about it. So it now conforms to all EU standards, which means legally sell it in Europe. They've made some changes into how it works, but also you can connect it up to some external LEDs that you could say hide behind your telly, and then it changes the colors of the LEDs based on your heart rate. So when you're doing, I don't know, indoor workouts or Zwift racing and you're absolutely on the rivet, I guess the LEDs are red, and then when you're cruising along easy, it's maybe green. I've got to say, it's not a cheap product.
Right.
So if you're looking at the unit itself, around €400.
Wow.
But on their website, they do sell it as a sort of package with the unit, a fan that will work with it, and all the coloured LEDs. But you're looking around €800 for that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool bit of kit, but you've got to really want to be invested in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up in Hot Tech, we have got a bike, an e-bike, that's claiming to be the lightest e-bike that's folding in the world. Right.
A bold claim, I might say.
It is. It's called the Hummingbird Flax Bike.
Yeah.
Now, hummingbirds, because they're light.
Yeah.
Flax, because it's made of flax.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, really.
Yeah. It's pretty Ron Seal.
Yeah.
So so instead of being made from carbon fibre, they say that it's made from flax fibre, which is the fibres of a flax plant
Makes sense.
with a resin. So,
in theory, far more sustainable product.
Yeah, you'd imagine that's a lot more environmental. We might be wrong. It's a horrific process, but I'd imagine that's going to be a lot more environmentally friendly than a carbon fibre product.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And it's got a 250 watt motor.
Yeah,
into it as well.
I've got some of the other stats here. So the weight of the bike, 10.3 kilograms. It's got a
It's pretty light for an e-bike, isn't it?
Yeah, rear hub drive motor, 50 kilometre claimed range, a price, £4,995.
Okay.
I've given you the price in pounds actually,
It's
because
quite expensive.
it is quite expensive. So I gave you the price in pounds because it's actually manufactured in the UK at ProDrive. You know the like rally company, make all the cool rally parts.
No way.
Yeah, it's made there. And I know we were talking about marketing claims and stuff at the start of this week's show. So there's kind of quite a bold claim on their website.
Right.
But if it's true, I love it.
Hit me with it.
It says, after only walking, it's the most environmentally friendly form of transport. If that's true, I think it's mega. Fair enough.
I mean, the thing is what people always say is, where's the electricity coming from? So if it's coming from wind turbines,
good,
and your Tesla's great.
Yeah.
If it's coming from a coal-fired power station,
probably not so great.
Tesla's not so good, is it?
Yeah.
And the same logic would probably apply to bikes.
I think you raise a very valid point there. Right, on to the last bit of hot tech this week. This is a new product which I have seen on Kickstarter. It's an e-bike conversion kit. So the theory is you use this kit to convert any bike, I think within reason, into an e-bike with less than 30 seconds is what it says on the advert.
That's cool. We've seen a few of these kits over the past, haven't we? Like the one that was like the Kickstarter the switch bike.
Yeah. Now this seems to have gained loads and loads of traction on Kickstarter. So as at the time of filming the show this week, they've got 1,452 backers. They've got 40 days to go to reach their funding target.
What is the target?
I think the goal is £20,000 or something. But they're at 478,000.
Wow. So they've smashed the target.
Absolutely smashed it. It looks really cool.
Peekaboos.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the theory behind this, it clamps onto the seat post, and then you've got the unit and the battery contained as one, and then it literally runs on top of the back wheel, and you've got a driven wheel as part of the system that just spins your normal bike wheel round.
Really?
Yeah, super simple idea. According to their Kickstarter page, works with loads of different bikes, loads of different tyres, and is possibly one of the lightest systems out. I think it just weighs 3 kilograms.
That is intriguing. Does it work on non-round seat posts?
That I don't have the information for, but you would hope so, seeing as in the bike world, that's quite a common design nowadays.
I like the way that you could potentially disguise it as a bike packing bag.
Yeah.
So people don't think you're riding an e-bike.
You could just put it inside of a bike packing bag and cut a hole out for the bit to go on.
Yeah, you could, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It cracked, like when we had our Flanders video,
Yeah.
where we did the Flanders ride, and I'm riding the Oltre Aero, which has its aero storage box underneath, right? It's got a functional way to
I've got one on my bike, yeah.
But it lowers the centre of gravity compared to having it. It's better for handling, cornering.
Yeah.
It cracks me when people go, "Are you riding an e-bike?" Oh God, because
You
they
don't
think
need
it looks like an e-bike.
Oh, they think it's the battery.
They think I don't know what they think it is.
Yeah, someone did say that to me once about mine, actually.
No, it's not an e-bike.
It's an aero storage unit, for goodness sake. Anyway, more hot tech next week. It's now time for Comentarios de la semana. I mean, basically Spanish.
I didn't know you could speak Spanish.
That's all. I'm all out of Spanish now.
Right, comments of the week.
Yeah.
First question.
Question? Comment?
Comment.
You thought I said question because I'm in Spanish then, didn't you?
It's from Oliver Eborn, who is talking in last week's show, saying, "Awesome episode, lads. Love the raw enthusiasm for a classic grassroots event. It's what it's all about." That's talking about the National Hill Climb Champs.
Yeah, super cool that.
It's what I loved it. It was so much fun.
I think quite a lot of people loved the fact we just sat and had a good chat last week about
I want to get behind the National Hill Climb Champs next year. Really get behind it.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Heard it here first. Also, underneath last week's show, Savage Pro said, "The best weight-saving hacks for bikes. Drillium enters the chat, sees carbon, immediately turns around and sees his way to the door." Well, you're not drilling in carbon, are you?
No.
Absolutely no chance.
No. Hot tech last week.
Oh, was this at Rouleur?
This was at Rouleur Classic, right? Did have quite a few mineral waters, courtesy of the Wahoo stand.
Very kind of them. You got to stay hydrated, haven't you?
Yeah. Francois Payen says Ollie might be impervious to the side effects of caffeine, but alcohol definitely works.
Fair. There's also another mineral water related comment from Bike Pappy. They say 2.5 beers in. So this is referencing you. This is the hub shell that has been completely redesigned. So that's a whole new design. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're only human, aren't you?
I'm a cheap date.
Yeah. What can we say?
Sticky B says, "I shave 2 days before a race." So this is talking about, we've spoken about shaving.
Yeah, shaving legs.
"I shave 2 days before a race. I'm thinking it's enough stubble to break up the air, but not so long that it will create unnecessary drag."
I like it.
The debate rages on. What is the optimum hair length?
Well, it's going to depend on your hair rate growth.
Yeah, for boundary layer separation.
There was another comment which I didn't actually pick out and I couldn't find it again because I was still almost drying my eyes and fighting back the tears after reading it. It was under last week's Tech Clinic, I think.
Oh.
Someone said, "Does anyone else get the feeling that Ollie should just have his own show?"
Who said that?
I don't know, a very naughty person. Not a huge fan of me then maybe, just really think you should have your own show.
What's that about?
I don't know, I won't take it personally.
I couldn't do this without Alex.
Oh, thanks.
He's the brains behind the operation.
Incredible. It's now time for the bike vault. We'll move swiftly on from that.
No, it's not called the bike vault.
Oh, we're in GCN Español MoonBase.
We're in Catalonia, so it's Volta de Bicicletas.
All right, let's do it. Should we hit it with the most super nice bike from
That was
last?
Catalan for bike font.
Right, so the most super nice bike from last week.
No, sorry, it's not super nice.
Oh,
It's super agradable.
blur.
Agradable.
Super
Agra.
One more.
super agradable.
Agradable. Agradable.
Super agradable.
She's changing every time.
Super agradable.
Agradable.
You're giving all of our secrets away. People thought we actually knew Spanish then.
Agradable. That's not Spanish, that's Catalan.
Oh, sorry, that's actually
Super
a big mistake to make.
Agradable. Agradable.
Should we talk about his bike?
What we got? For most super nice bike last week.
It's from-
Trek Madon. Check it out.
It's from Road Rash 1. They say...
That was a great game on the Sega Mega Drive. Road Rash 1.
Yeah, I love that.
Road Rash 2 never lived up to its predecessor.
They say this is probably the nicest bike they've ever had the opportunity to own, and they think it's worth every penny. What do you make
It
of
looks amazing. I think that looks really cool. We haven't even got a bell.
it? Oh, shit, we don't. Oh, I just swore as well. Sorry, what?
What are we going to do?
Just clap. We just clap.
I'm not clapping. I'm not a seal. After much searching, we haven't been able to find a bell here at GCN Español Satellite Mega MoonBase Alpha. So we're
We're going to just use sound effects.
yes, right. These ones are super nice.
Yeah.
It is.
So then this week, first up, we've got a bike from Max Bucky 24, which is a, what is this thing? It's a track bike. How low can you go?
Ooh.
What do you make of it?
So, hang on.
There you go.
It's very simple, isn't it? Very clean.
Um,
That saddle's looking excited, isn't it?
that is an excited saddle and a very unexcited stem.
Yeah.
It's just a nice from me.
That's a nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
No, not super nice.
Not oh, yeah.
Agorababa.
Hang on. Sorry. Next one.
Next one.
Next one. Moving on.
Right, next is from Roman.
Roman?
Yeah.
Not Roman Arnold.
No.
It's a Parapera Anamos. Never heard of that.
It looks like it's in some sort
I
of
can't see it. It's silhouetted.
It's silhouetted.
It's silhouetted. It's drive. It's non-drive
drive
side.
cranks on level.
What's going on? Nice.
Try harder.
Nice.
Next in is from 6GK Dunt Wugod 1.
I mean, they've got some really. That's a very nice S-Works frame, isn't it?
SL7.
Unusual paint job going on.
I really like the paint scheme.
It's cool, isn't it? It's different.
I like that.
Well,
I'm going to say quite well presented.
I don't like that it's not central in the frame.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I can go
also, I mean, that's a very unkempt, unwell kept border there.
Well, I mean, if that's in the UK, it's autumn. Leaves everywhere.
Sweep them.
It's a nightmare for bike
If you're
vault
going in the
pictures.
bike vault, sweep them.
All right. Should I put you down as a nice?
I mean, there's some serious Ron Seal required on that fence, isn't there?
Yeah, that is true.
We should get sponsored by Ron Seal, the amount we mention it. It's a nice for me.
Yeah.
Agora de bala. I think that's nice in Catalan.
Yeah. Next, we've got a bike from Simon Heaton. This is a giant TCR Pro 2 sat next to what I can describe as
A chunky fence.
a chunky boy, or is it a chunky boy fence, or is it a very small bike? We don't know. What do you make of the bike, though, and more importantly? You have to zoom in a bit here.
It's a really nice one, isn't it? But
Yeah, I like that. I like the colour.
it's really nice.
Valves are aligned, biggie smalls.
I don't like the gubbins on the back of it, though.
Yeah. I'm going nice.
I'm going nice on that one.
Okay.
It's not a strong week this week.
It's not a strong week.
Ooh, another
Another?
Trek Madon.
Yeah.
Right.
From PET.
But it's the previous model without the cutout thing.
Without
going
the
on.
A-hole.
That's a proper cool bike. But
But
I know this is triggering you. Precariously against that metal.
I mean, what is that even
Thing.
resting on? The crank or the frame?
I don't know, but it's going to scratch it, isn't it? It's going to wobble off and it's going to scratch it and like.
It's gonna get the frames to get
Get a
scratched.
shadow stand.
Yeah, available at
get a s-
shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com.
Just prop it up in a safe way.
You could have lent that up perfectly safe by the back wheel and you could have got a bike vault picture.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh no. What's this one? That's a big one, isn't it?
That's a big boy. Is that it's like Connor's size?
That's a chunky one.
What is, more importantly, what is on the iPad in the corner? Is that the...
Well, what is on that iPad? Let me zoom in.
It's the GCN homepage.
Oh.
But it's not the Tech Show homepage.
Although,
GCNTech.
I think he's... Right, hang on a minute here.
Yeah.
On the one hand, ticking all the boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then even put GCN in on the iPad to try and like win us over.
Yeah.
Then, I think there's trolling going on here with the smally bigs.
Smally bigs.
He's trying to troll us.
Don't rise to it.
No, I mean, that's a clear infraction, and they're trying to get a.
Yeah.
That's a nice.
We'll see straight through it.
We'll see. Yeah, it's a nice.
Got to get up early.
If you get
Okay, so nice
that's
from
a
us.
Dogma F as well.
That was the last bike vault for this week. That's the last bike vault we've got here at GCN Español.
Conspiracy
satellite
theorists
MoonBase.
out there will say that we didn't ring the bell and give Superniced because we didn't have a bell. That may or may not be true.
Yeah. Shall we go?
Yeah, should we go find some tapas?
Oh, lovely. Yeah, always hungry. Right, see you later. It's been great being here. And back to GCN UK Mega Base next week.
Love you, bye.
Bye.